Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Saltcast. I'm your host, Alex. I'm here with Sebastian and Bert. How are you guys today?
Welcome. Pretty well.
That's good.
Had chicky tendies for dinner.
Nice. Everybody loves to hear that. Interested in Bert's dinners and dieting?
Mm-hmm. Dinner of champions right there.
Yeah. All right, today we have a pretty cool episode. I was excited for this. I was actually looking forward to watching what we watched.
Jumping in my chair in excitement watching some of these episodes.
Yeah, we watched the first 3 episodes of Invincible, Season 3. It's back.
Yeah, so with that, just like a slight thing to say before we get into the specifics, Episode 2 was a banger. Yes. So good.
I actually rewatched that episode just because I liked it, even though I saw it a day ago.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to Season 2. Season 2 did not start off this epic.
I honestly think this is probably one of the best episodes in the whole series. Episode 2.
Season 1 started off good with that first episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was kind of alright, decent until halfway through the season. Season 2 started off slow. This season is starting off great, back half of Season 1 so far.
Yeah, I know.
Those first 3 episodes, all 3 of them were really good in my opinion.
They were.
But also, I'm trying not to be
about one episode.
Is the last one?
Yeah, I have complaints about all of them. I have things I can complain about in every episode.
Yeah, me too. But I've had that for all the episodes of the show, pretty much. But the thing I'm trying to do, because I'm worried, I'm trying not to get too hyped about it because it's been so long since I've watched Invincible that I'm maybe this is just the quality of it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's always this good. It's hard to be without having seen it for a while.
Yeah.
This is definitely better than the beginning of Season 2. I think without a doubt.
That I agree with, yeah. Specifically that underwater episode, I remember being probably one of my least favorites of the whole show.
But that episode did have a purpose that we come to find out.
Yeah, but it didn't need to be a whole episode.
No, that I agree with.
That the 2 worst episodes are actually brought back here. I think the 2 worst episodes are that college trip where the people make those cyborgs and the underwater episode. And both of those have
significant
impacts
importance
on these. But those episodes are the worst too.
I'm going to be on. So I'm talking to a friend that has read the comics for Invincible.
Don't spoil anything.
I'm not going to. But all I'm going to say is that in the comics, a lot of the way the characters are handled are completely different. Some relationships just never happen.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Mark's friend isn't gay in the comics. So then his boyfriend, the one that turned into a cyborg, has such a smaller part in the comics than he does in the show.
He had a big...
they don't have a huge role, really.
Doesn't get a ton of screen time, but he did have a somewhat big moment, though, in episode...
He had an important thing he said to Mark, yeah. But I wouldn't say he's not an important character, really. Neither is Mark's friend, even.
But they're
important. They ground Mark, and they keep Mark.
Yeah, they do. They have the humanity.
Yeah,
to Mark.
But that's also his mom.
That's what I'm saying. All of those characters, though, do that. They all play a part in that.
I think his mom, especially in Season 2, but still continuing into this season,
his mom
is underrated, dude.
I completely agree.
Awesome.
She's the mom of the century.
She did do one thing I didn't like.
Yeah, but then she actually realized it.
Yeah, all of the characters feel real.
It feels so good when a character can make a mistake and acknowledge that they made a mistake.
Yeah, or just act like a real human being and not a stereotype or a trope.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very refreshing, especially today.
But,
I agree. Have always liked Rex. By the way,
Rex is my favorite not Mark character.
I didn't like Rex in the beginning.
Omni-Man is my favorite not Mark character, but in this season, so far, it's Rex.
That's fair. Rex is so good.
I love Rex.
And
I didn't like
Especially
Rex.
Especially how him trying to improve himself is so awesome. Or just funny to watch. When he'll make a joke and he's like, "Oh, that was the old me. Sorry."
Yeah.
Classic Rex, dude. Episode 2 is fire for Rex, but we'll start on episode 1. Basically, the main point of this episode is it's just Mark training. He's apparently like 30% faster, some shit, 140% stronger, like just random numbers, but he's basically a shit ton stronger and apparently at the level or slightly above the Viltrumite that kicked his ass in
he's about on par with Omni-Man currently.
How do you know that?
The comics.
But this could
you don't
be
know how that is. You have no idea.
But it's following a lot of the very similar.
You just said that it doesn't.
You just said that it isn't.
But like with the power scaling and stuff.
You have no idea whether or not he's on par with Omni-Man until he fights
If it follows the comics, he might be, but we don't know.
Okay, yeah, in that sense, maybe.
They specifically said that they think he probably can beat that one Viltrumite. So we know he's at least that strong of the one in season 2. That's the only like 100% guarantee. But that's also them saying probably. They didn't seem super confident, but I think they're probably right. He's probably about that level of the Viltrumite that kicked his ass in season 2, roughly. And that's from like what the characters actually say.
Yeah.
I believe she's weaker than Omni-Man because I think I remember Mark even being like, Omni-Man kicked his ass way harder or something, But episode 1, he's just training.
I feel like I realized something about Mark though, and you really see it in episode 3 with the big thing that happens in that episode.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do we want to talk?
I know the big thing, but I don't know what you mean of what you realize.
Yeah, I don't see. Yeah.
Do we want to talk about that moment, or do we want to like wait to get to that moment?
Well,
I have no idea what you're talking about. Is the problem?
The moment in episode 3. Do we want to talk about episode 3 right now, or do we want to wait?
Can you just tell us what you noticed?
Yeah. Can you just explain his character?
Well, he holds back a lot, like a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah.
Like we were complaining in earlier seasons about him being getting his ass beat all the time, but I think he's holding back like way more than we thought.
There's one time he didn't hold back.
Yeah, and then he fucks shit up whenever he doesn't, and I'm like, damn, he could do that this whole
when
time.
He destroyed Aang.
But I think that has to do with his mom. Like, not so much his mom, but his humanity.
Oh yeah,
he sees what his dad did.
Yeah, everything he does.
No idea how strong he actually is.
Everything he does is to try and not be like that. Like he's afraid of being
Angstrom,
like that.
He has no idea how durable people really are. So it's like he will start.
I think
with,
he knows that. He just doesn't know how strong he is.
Yeah, so he'll start with like baby punches and slowly increase his strength while getting beat up, just so he doesn't accidentally kill the person he's fighting.
I think he does know how strong he is in some ways.
Well, now he does, but I don't think he used to.
I think he understands how like strong his full force is, but I think he has a hard time like controlling like the smaller aspects of it, especially when like he's getting like pressured in other situations.
Right.
Like when there's other factors at play, he seems to like struggle almost. I don't know.
I think he's just holding back all the time.
He definitely was not holding back against Omni-Man.
No, yeah. There's certain situations where it's obvious, like he's just completely overpowered, like that point, and then...
And the other Viltrumite, I don't think he was holding back either.
Yeah, or that lion guy.
That leads to one complaint I have about episode 1, actually. Why was he holding back against those worms?
I don't think he was.
Were they just that strong?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they were strong enough to defeat every superhero on Earth, basically.
Yeah.
I would say that they were just more caught off guard versus just straight fighting.
Well, also, I think that...
But then, like if
Mark has the classic superhero thing of he often loses or gets, like, put down in a bad position because he's actually trying to protect other people.
Yeah, but, like, if those like robot things were able to kill those worms so easily, why was I don't want to go into episode 2 yet, but going like
the worms are episode 1.
No, I know, but like if those like robot things were able to kill those worms so easily in episode 2, why was Mark able to do what he did so efficiently? Or less if there was just a completely different strength.
Well, I think part of it is because he just has fought those before, so he knows what to do.
I think he underestimated the worms, because I don't think any of them took that guy seriously.
I think so.
That
but
is
like,
part of
wouldn't
it
you,
too.
in a fight, after you realize that the things you're fighting are kind of stronger than you thought, wouldn't you be like, maybe I should like use my full strength? Especially because it's not like they're people; they're bugs.
Well, I think he was distracted by Eve too.
Yeah, I think the actual reason of the show is because he just had that argument with Eve. He had the classic Cobra Kai, like, oh, my girlfriend made me upset, so now I lose the fight, just like in Cobra Kai, you know?
Yeah, he lost to writing.
He was not focused, I think, is kind of the explanation.
He wasn't locked in. He wasn't
especially because when those
6 Miguel.
When the robots came in to save him, they just ripped out their their heads and their spines included. Like, you don't think Mark can do that? Because I know he absolutely could.
Well, he did right then and there.
He took down a few of them.
Yeah, he put down a few of them.
But it took him a while. Like, he didn't like.
He locked the fuck in though when he saw those things. He was like, "What the hell?"
Exactly. But why didn't he lock in sooner when there was like, I quote like higher stakes?
I don't think
because I don't think he thought they were high yet.
Yeah, I don't think he felt like they were.
But I don't know, because they were like, from what I'm remembering, they had their backs against the wall almost.
I mean, once Eve went down is when he was like, "Oh shit."
That's when he started trying. Yeah,
but then
he wasn't just ripping out their heads. He wasn't murdered. Like,
oh, you know what? You know what happened? He got poisoned.
That you're right.
Yeah.
Oh,
he got poisoned, and that fucked him up.
Before he locked in, and then
okay,
by that point it was too late.
Okay, I take that back. You're right.
I can't believe
I was trying to remember that fight, and I'm like, me thinking about it. I was like, I don't remember him like getting poisoned. So I was like, how the fuck did he lose?
Yeah. Because he was
why.
actually effortlessly he was still joking around and like just hitting them.
But he benched the fucking moon. Like, you're telling me he couldn't kill a worm?
Yeah. Again, he was actually relatively effortlessly taking him down and still joking around. But then once he got poisoned, he's like, "Oh, I should be serious." But at that point, it was too late.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
I kind of forgot about that.
That's a valid reason.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. But to go to right before that, and this was actually stupid as shit. I thought I like the idea of Mark and Eve. I think that's awesome. I think that should be them. Mark said some stupid ass shit in their conversation though that I was like, "Are you dumb?"
Oh my god! And he got warned by so many people so many times.
Yeah,
what not to do.
Like, "Don't say this. Don't say this," and he goes, "I'm saying this."
I understand, but I felt like I understood why he wanted to say that. It was bothering him that whole time.
But why say it like that's such a... You can say it, but that was so stupid the way he said it.
He worded it terribly. He really should have just been like, he should have phrased it as meeting a different version of her versus meeting a future version of her. I don't know.
I don't think it would have mattered to Eve.
Well, luckily Eve isn't a fucking idiot and she like gets over it in the same episode, because that would have been so annoying if that went on for the whole season, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was glad that didn't last.
Eve is awesome. She's also OP as shit. I feel like we just don't show, like, we don't get it. Did you ever watch the Adam Eve special, Bert?
Tragically, no.
You gotta watch that. That's like the one time where it's like, holy shit, she is like OP. You know?
I like knowing her powers. I can absolutely see how she would be OP. Like, she can just manifest matter from nothing, pretty much.
Yeah,
she's basically the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, you gotta watch the Adam Eve special.
Nah,
because the Scarlet Witch can't manifest matter.
No, she can change reality. She can definitely take and create matter.
She can change matter too. Didn't she get rid of that one guy's mouth?
Yeah, she can.
Well, I guess you're right.
Scarlet Witch is more powerful, unless Eve can like manipulate reality at some point. But as of right now,
we're also seeing very early Eve. Like, we don't know what she gets to in the future. You know,
because according to like physics, if you can manipulate matter, you can technically manipulate time. So like, you can get some weird stuff happening with that.
I mean, she did come from the future in that one episode.
That is true. Because it's all relative.
I like Eve.
The point is, Mark and Eve works way better than Amber.
Eve's fire. A tiny bit. I liked her thing with her parents.
Yeah, that was good too.
I think all of the characters just they all react in such like
human.
believable ways. Yeah,
they feel real, and like you can like see the logic behind some like their decisions and like their opinions and stuff.
I wonder if it's ever gonna come up again that the Declaration of Independence was stolen. Like, if that's like, gonna matter.
How important is that actually?
Like, because it's gone.
Don't we have copies by now?
Yeah,
it's gone.
What is the significance of stealing it? I mean, like, unless you're just gonna sell it, like, I don't get it.
I feel like there's no way you could sell that without
getting caught bodied. Immediately.
Yeah, like, there's no way you could sell that.
But what's funny about that too is that the document is so old that if it's not stored in perfect conditions, it'll just deteriorate instantly.
They just grab it and it turns to dust.
Yeah.
But yeah, episode 1's pretty standard. Like we said, it shows Mark building up his power. There's a little fight where Mark needs to stop them from stealing the Declaration of Independence. I love that, like, him and Rex are boys. Like, they're actually friends. I think that's so cool. Like, when Rex walked in and he's like, "Can I bring Rex?"
Yeah, he was like, "What about me?" And then Mark was like, "Can I bring him?"
Yeah. Cecil's went crazy, kind of, this episode. Or
episode 2.
First 3 episodes.
Dude, I honestly think Cecil deserves everything that happened to him, if not a bit more.
You both were saying how you love Cecil season 1 and 2.
I do like Cecil.
I like him, but he definitely is terrible at like controlling people. There's such a better way of doing it than the way he decided to do it.
Cecil has the right idea. He just pulled the classic worst way of doing it.
Yeah, he did such a terrible job at revealing his hand and like talking to Mark that he kind of deserved what happened.
I think he deserved it, but I just like, I don't know. Like, he just...
I like Cecil as a character. I think he's like very like badass and like...
As smart as he is, that was really dumb.
To Omni-Man. But like, exactly. Like, he just made it such a terrible decision.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we'll move into episode 2 now. The main thing of episode 2, right, is...
Actually, I want to say the one complaint I had about the seismic guy.
Okay.
Is wouldn't you, as like especially because you know superpowers exist, right? In this world. The guy that is known for being able to like control like, it's like, what am I trying to say? Like the earth pretty much, like the seismic sound waves and whatever. See him tapping the ground and you not think he's up to anything, meditating in his cell.
Well, they did. That's where Cecil was dumb as shit again, because they were even like, he's doing something. And remember, Cecil's like, tell me when it's not a coincidence.
And Ronald even reported all the weird seismic activity happening.
Donald, thank you. He even reported it, and Cecil was like, "If you give me something real." But wouldn't you like at least send someone to disturb the guy and just like kind of see what he's up to? Or at least stare at him. Just stare at him all day. Yeah.
Just someone to be like, "What are you doing?" Like, or like, why don't you suspend him in the air so that he doesn't have contact with the ground?
I think
you would think at least someone would be watching him.
I think I think it was like,
check up on him.
He was like Marvel's Mole Man. Like, he was such an insignificant. It was like if freaking Paste Pot Pete from the Marvel universe was doing something,
like
they'd be like
C-rate villain.
Yeah, he was like
Everyone
a
was
D-rate.
like, he's so pathetic. There's no way.
Yeah, like nobody was worried about this guy.
I don't know. I was watching that episode, and before they revealed anything, I was just watching him tapping in the cell, and I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Like, I was immediately sus of him, so I was like, I feel like as a guard, you would be the same way and be like, what the hell are you up to? But I don't know. I have to let that go.
Yeah. So, like we were saying earlier, episode 1 ends with, like, these worms. They kidnap all the heroes in the world. Even and Mark have to go stop them. They're, like, failing because Mark gets poisoned, and that's when Cecil calls in all of his like anti-Omni-Man measures, his fucking robots.
Well, first he was like talking to Mark in the White Room, and
this is after that.
Oh, I was talking to. Do we not want to talk about that at all?
That happens later.
Oh, what are we talking about?
The worms.
Oh, I thought we were on episode 2 now. I'm sorry.
So, because Cecil calls in the like, I don't know what you call those things, the cyborg dead body guys from
the Sinclair
what's his
things,
name? Yeah. Mark gets pissed and he like leaves straight to go to talk to Cecil, and that goes straight into episode 2. So that's like where we go from episode 1 to 2. Then he like busts through the Pentagon ceiling. Basically.
Well, at first he sees Nightwing.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other one. Yeah.
Darkwing,
he sees Darkwing saves them and the Sinclair things, and he's like, "You're supposed to be in jail, and you're supposed to be in jail.
Shouldn't be existing."
Yeah. So that's why Mark's like pissed off, and he flies away to
and then
go talk to
Darkwing is
Cecil.
like, "He's coming."
Yeah. So then Mark goes and confronts Cecil, and this episode was fucking amazing. I loved this whole episode.
Yes, start to end.
Yeah, Mark just pulls up on Cecil. He goes, "What the fuck? They're supposed to be in jail." And Cecil starts out reasonable, but like, bro, you should have told him from the beginning. But whatever. Cecil starts out reasonable. He's like, they're too valuable.
I understand why Cecil didn't
Their
tell
skills could be useful. They can repent versus sitting in a cell.
Yeah. I agree with Cecil's stuff here.
Yeah.
That's right.
That makes sense.
He's like, we're doing
I
all
disagree
this,
with
like,
Cecil. I don't think he should have done that anyway. They should have just been in a cell.
After...
No. Think about it this way.
The U.S. did something similar with Nazi scientists after World War II.
I'm just thinking of it in terms of this show. Omni-Man bodied the planet. He could have. The only reason he didn't is because he left. Now, as the world, it's been confirmed. Mark heard from them. They told him. There's hundreds, possibly more, coming. Okay? It's like, we can train Mark, but even if Mark is the strongest, like, how many Viltrumites is he going to take out? 10, maybe?
Yeah.
Like...
Those things kind of make sense. So it's because, at the very least, they can keep them busy.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we have Mark and he's on our side, but Mark is not going to take out an entire army, And
they don't fully trust Mark anyway.
But
even if they did, even if they 100% trusted Mark, like, he literally can't do it. Like, the only reason he's probably going to be able to is because of Omni-Man, along with, the whole like coalition of planets or whatever it's called.
And that one guy, is his name Alan? The alien?
I think it is, yeah. That's the only reason it's going to work. But, like, from Earth's point of view, there's an army coming for them. One of them could have destroyed the whole planet, and they only have Mark. Like, they have to... And now they've found, over the last year, things that can hurt Mark. They're like, well, let's buff these things up for when there's more
for our defenses.
Yeah.
Because it's a very human thing to be afraid of something stronger than you, and then finding a weakness and being like, let's protect ourselves with this. It's a very human reaction to something.
Yeah, but I mean,
especially with like the U.S. government and like the whole Cecil thing and the way like he's portrayed as a character.
I'm just saying, like, I understand, but it doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do.
But again, Cecil has always said, do you want to be the good guys, or do you want to, like, what did he say?
Or save the world.
Do you want to be the good guys, or do you want to save the world?
I mean, I don't know.
It's like, it's morally bad.
Okay, that's my point.
But at the same time, at the end of the day, you got to get done what you got to get done.
Is it, though? Is it morally bad? I don't think it's that bad.
Yes, it is. There's no difference between
Mark,
that. That's what I was just about to say.
What they do to Mark, I think, is morally bad.
Okay, yes, that's different, though.
Is a terrible decision on Cecil's part, especially.
No, it's not. With your guys' logic, that makes exact sense. Why would you not put a freaking bomb in the one thing that's like as close to your organization that could completely?
Because it wasn't enough to kill it. It was just enough to.
Yes, it was
incapacitate it.
No one's letting me talk. They should be researching those sounds and making those bombs. They just shouldn't have put one in his head.
Okay, but I don't know.
And Cecil shouldn't have used it as early as he did. He used it way too soon, I feel like.
Yeah, and I don't agree with putting it in his head, but let's say that is guaranteed. He should have saved that for the day Mark actually turns on him.
Yeah, like the day Mark is like going through buildings. He should be like, maybe I should use this.
But I don't think he should have done that at all.
In an argument.
And I think you saying putting a bomb in Mark's head is the same as building soldiers to fight an army that's coming is way different. Way different.
Yeah, it's like making a forced slave versus just preparing for an army.
Your logic for the reasoning of them goes both ways.
No, it doesn't, because
all those like human parts that they use are dead humans, or they're like death row inmates. Like versus Mark, that's like a living being that is free and has free will,
And Mark is on their side. If they need to have protections against him, it is those other things.
They could have just used like sound projections and like speakers versus having one in his head.
Or just sent the fucking robot guys on him to kill him.
Yeah, like Mark killed like maybe 50 of the robot guys.
Yeah, he killed a lot of those
Cecil
guys.
revealed 1,000. And then used the thing. Why not let Mark kill those 2,000 robot guys? See if he still has the steam to fight, and then maybe use the head thing.
Because they're afraid of him.
That's different. I understand that they're afraid of him.
Why piss him off?
Yeah, that's what I agree with. But what
Cecil
I'm saying is,
treated Mark like a human versus like a thing and a tool.
What I'm saying is, I don't know how this is like not making sense to you. Like, I don't see a problem with them just like researching weapons to defeat army. I don't think Mark would be mad if they developed the sound technology, but I think Mark was mad because they put it in his head
and they didn't tell him.
I agree.
Exactly. I feel like and then like the way the Guardians of the Globe reacted to discovering what happened to Mark and their horrified faces is way more than enough to be like Cecil shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I already said that.
But how is that? I don't see how you're saying that's the same.
The robots.
Because
the robots were dead body parts that they just reanimated.
Yeah, but
it's like a necromancy.
Yeah, but that guy was
versus enslavement.
That guy that did that actually did take real living people, like
at one time, but he's not any like those current robots weren't.
Yeah,
they should. Like, yeah, he should like be punished for his crimes, but at the same time, it's like. In the context of this situation, it's so much more important.
And why do people not think that him being forced to endlessly produce these things and work, that's also a punishment?
It's not. We literally saw. Yeah, he is living a good life. We literally saw him.
He got a bigger lab.
Yeah, they gave him. Yeah, like there was an episode in season 2 where we saw the guy, and Cecil was like, "Here you go," like, and this guy's like, "Oh, this is awesome."
Evils in protecting the planet because.
Yeah, and putting a bomb in Mark's head is a necessary evil because if Mark turns bad, then you can just.
But Mark would never have no reason to turn bad. He has connections to Earth. He has more connections to Earth than he does the other planet.
Okay, and who's to say these Viltrumites are going to come back? You don't know.
They specifically said they will. No. They literally said they are. The Viltrumites said to Mark, they said, I don't remember how long they said, but they said, you have this much time to take the planet, or we're going there to take it ourselves.
Yeah, okay. And
they even alluded to the bigger guy.
And then Omni-Man showed up and was like, here, I'm here to help you guys.
He didn't.
Exactly. And Mark just did the same thing. Mark's like, yeah, I'm on your guys' side. They already experienced it with Omni-Man.
But Mark was born on the planet. He has a mom and a, like...
Okay, but they don't care about that. They don't, like, that doesn't equate into their decision making.
I agree. Okay, shut up, everyone. Everyone shut up. Listen to me for this. I agree with you that they don't care. I agree with, like, everything you're saying I agree with. The part I don't agree with is that you're saying that I think that's the same thing. You're telling me what I think, and that's wrong.
I think the robots are completely different. I'm not telling you that
that's what you think. I'm saying that's what I think.
But you're saying the logic is the same, but I don't agree.
Well, the way that you explained it, the logic is the same. Because I can use the same argument for that. And the only difference is you can say, well, it's not as bad because this guy's doing it with dead bodies and blah, blah, blah.
Well, no, because one is
one's a free, innocent person that's being forced to do something against his will. One's a guy that's a criminal that's using dead body parts to make something to protect the planet.
And at the end of the day, they both made something to protect the planet. So it's just how bad is too bad for you. This is basically it.
But no, the difference
one committed a crime and one didn't.
The difference is this. One way, these guys said, we are definitely coming. The other one is, this guy might be bad, but he probably isn't.
Especially because he was so, cooperative. And the fact that he showed remorse so often, you don't think that,
Yeah, I can think that.
wouldn't show remorse. But he never.
Omni-Man lived there
when he killed people.
All of your arguments for Mark go both the same for Omni-Man. Omni-Man had a wife. He had a kid.
Omni-Man just appeared out of nowhere. You don't know his background. You don't know his history. You don't know who he actually is. You've seen him from a fucking fetus.
You have 20 years. You have 20 years of him helping you guys and
yeah, but he could be pretending. Spies do that for longer.
Okay, and he
looks like he was in his 40s when he came to.
And the kid that you were saying is a good kid was raised by that same guy. That was his dad. So it's like,
But he was also raised as a human by his mom.
okay, but his dad
And his
still
dad didn't-
blew through New York and killed everybody or whatever city.
And he was fighting his dad the entire time, and he fucking got beaten to a pulp because of it.
Yeah, that's true. But here's where the difference is, where I think you guys are not understanding each other, is that Bert is arguing what he thinks, and you're arguing what you think, like, the government of that universe thinks. Bert probably agrees with you. That is what the government thinks, and they're dumb for thinking that, but that's what they think, right, Bert?
Yeah. I just think that isn't how they should think.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah, I agree there. I'm just saying
that's a logical flaw.
That's not what
That's
they're
what they
thinking.
think, yeah.
I don't think it's a
The only
logical
thing-
flaw. I think it's very reasonable
I
that
think it's
people would think like that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. The only thing I'm saying is that that's different reasoning. That's them. They're scared of him because of what happened before. That's different from a guarantee there's a war coming. Like, it's like, if someone said we're going to war, you would go get some guns. But like, that's so different from we might go.
Yeah, like it's like killing a criminal before they become a criminal, sort of meant like in the like in Winter Soldier sort of thing, like killing the enemy before they actually become the enemy, versus waiting for them to commit the crime to arrest them, sort of, right?
I mean, it's a little bit. The
I don't know.
The main
I think you're
difference
just
for me,
picking and choosing what's right and what's wrong.
But
that's
like, don't you
crazy.
think-
That is
but
that's what you
wouldn't you
actually think?
What?
Don't you think that like if you were like worried about Mark betraying everyone, that like you would maybe try to like hear him
Try your
out?
best to keep him on your side.
Yeah, and like try to like listen to what he wants to say and take his opinion into account, and like maybe every once in a while appease him, versus treating him like a dog, constantly like giving him reasons to mistrust you, and then like seeking weapons on you, and then revealing that he has like basically just a shock collar built into you. Those are
thing
like
that
those are, I feel like, very good ways to make someone hate you.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I don't know.
Like just from like a
But
like
here's
if anyone
the
were to do
reason
that
I
to
think
anyone.
here's the reason I think you're just like what you're saying is crazy, that it's picking and choosing and that these are the same thing, is because even if they defeat Mark, they still get fucked for putting a bomb in his head. Like, let's say they kill him. There's still, a million more Viltrumites. Instead of putting a bomb in his head, they should be making weapons that work without needing to have them on your side first.
Like make guns that shoot sound.
I don't know.
From a
Mark,
That's what I'm saying.
Mark is
Or make big speakers.
Mark is an immediate threat.
But he's not.
No,
he's
he's not.
actively working and planning and plotting to help fight against the oncoming war.
Yes, but
Mark is not.
He's been training his ass off. They've been training Mark to fight in this war. You don't think there's a degree of trust involved in that? Like, why would you train your enemy?
yeah, there should be.
He's an active
I'm
threat.
just
That's
saying
why
there
he's
isn't.
stronger.
thing in his head.
But if he's like an active threat, why would you make him stronger?
Because he's both your biggest asset and potentially your biggest
So
enemy.
you think the best way of handling that is to make him
I have
angry?
never said that it's the
Yeah.
best way. Why do you keep saying that I said that? I never
I
said
don't know.
that.
Sorry.
I literally am
I don't
only
know. I
saying
just-
what Cecil has done.
No, I know. I just don't think that's a good decision on his end. That's all I keep saying.
I think that he's nowhere near their biggest threat. Like,
Immediately,
that's
yeah,
what's
he
crazy
is.
to me.
Immediately, he is. He's the strongest person on the planet.
But they have an oncoming war too.
he's the strongest person on the planet, but they could kill him with 1,000, 2,000 of those robots that they have. So
I don't think so anymore. He literally tears through them effortlessly now.
he
What if they were
tore
to hit
through
him with,
like
like, that
maybe 20
satellite
of
thing?
them, and he was tired, and then they had like 50 times more of them,
Yeah, he doesn't have infinite stamina. At least not yet. You can overwhelm him with numbers. You can hit him with like that
They could kill
satellite
him
thing.
with the stuff they've been preparing for Omni-Man. I know they could.
I don't know.
Plus what they have now
Mark
with the
is
sound.
Mark is a lot stronger and like better at everything than the last time we saw him.
Well, yeah, that's definitely true. Anyways, the point is, I think they should have, weapons against Viltrumites because, but Mark isn't the issue. It's the other Viltrumites, is what I'm saying, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think they should have put a bomb in his head.
Yeah, I don't think they should have either.
That was like Cecil's greatest flaw.
Because, like, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but from what I was understanding, you're saying they shouldn't be making any of these Viltrumite weapons, like, at all.
No,
So, like,
they should definitely be making weapons and stuff
they
to
should.
fight
They just not
Viltrumites.
put it in his
I
head.
just don't think that they should be using a freaking guy that tortured and killed and maimed and did disgusting things to people to do it.
I feel like, especially with Cecil's perspective, he would absolutely do it.
Yeah, I
He was
understand.
doing it.
That's what I literally
But
just
that's the thing,
argued
I
with you
feel like-
with Mark. Like, of course he's gonna do that, and you're like, what the heck?
But like, don't you like? I don't know. Like, I feel like if there was an alien invasion coming and there was a guy that had a technology,
if someone
that
told you
was
the
proven,
world will end in 5 years from an alien invasion, this guy can build things that will kill those aliens, but he's a criminal, you
don't,
would
like,
say nah?
especially if he's like not even like using live people anymore. He's using dead body parts or criminals or whatever.
I don't know. It's just
Like, you would rather die than let at least like it's morally bad, yes, but it's like sometimes you kind of just have to accept an evil.
that's what
And
I'm
just put him
saying.
in
That's
jail
my only
after.
point. That's my point.
I don't see why it even matters that much. It's like,
And
if
he's
like
still in jail. It's not like he has his freedom. He just
He's
has
doing.
To,
He's
forced
doing
to
what
work.
he forced. Yeah, he's doing exactly what he wants to do.
Yeah, but then when the second they're done with him, they'll just lock him up or kill him.
that's what I'm
Like
saying.
his
It just comes down to how
a time limit.
how long and how far do you want to stretch your leniency? Because at some point, like, okay, yeah, well, he's still useful. Let's just have him do this and keep doing this and keep doing this and keep doing this.
In a real life situation, you have him do it until someone else knows how to do it, and then you get rid of the bad guy,
Yeah.
and then you do it yourself.
You have someone watch him do it a couple times, and once they're like, yeah, I could probably do this with dead people or whatever. We don't need him anymore.
Exactly.
You get rid of him, and then you mass produce it.
I mean, I don't
That's
know.
what you do in real life, but in this show, apparently, he's the only one who can do it.
There's a lot of people
He's
that
not
have
like he has
existed in the
superpowers that make him
world
do it.
that
He's
have been the
just
only ones
smart.
that are able to do certain things.
It's just because they are the only ones that have the knowledge, but that knowledge could be transferred. It just never is.
Okay, and that's
Especially
the
if you
real
have-
world. You just argued that it wasn't happening because it's fake world or whatever. It happens in
like-
the real world too.
Yeah, but if you had, a government agency studying someone doing it for a month or two, they could figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially with
that's
the resources they have and the budget.
That's
that,
what we
they
did.
have hinted at in their show.
we did that. We did that in real life with freaking Nazi scientists.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah,
I said that's what we.
But why
That's
don't they
what
do
would
that in the show?
I specifically said that's what would happen in the real world, but in this show, he's
just
the only one
doesn't.
who can do it.
for right now, like, it's how long has he been doing it? We don't know. A few months.
Like a year.
It's been a while.
It's been at
Mark,
most.
There's a big
it's
time
been
At
jump.
4
most
months since season 2, and that happened in season 1.
Yeah, so he's been doing it for what, 6 months to a year at most, or at least.
Yeah. Well, it's
That's
probably
enough.
at most a year, I would think.
I would say so.
But anyways, it's a sick episode. Is the main point of this
It is
argument.
pretty good.
Mark pulls up on Cecil. Cecil bodies him. He's like, "Why you got all this shit?" That's
Yeah,
when
why you-
Mark starts being
Calm
like,
down,
"Nah,
little boy."
they're criminals." And
Yeah.
it's like,
and
you
then
know
we
what,
actually
Mark?
get a cool flashback.
Which one? I forget.
When
Cecil.
Oh,
Cecil is
Cecil's.
like in prison.
That was pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
We get a bit of like knowledge on how Cecil learned his tactics and like his like where his leadership skills came from, pretty much.
How his face got fucked up.
Yeah, like he used to be like he was trying to stop some villains
He was basically Mark.
from releasing some poison gas. Yeah, pretty much. And he was super optimistic and stuff, but then he got sent to jail for his crime, and he like basically became like the crime boss of the jail through like unspeakable means. Because I don't even think they mentioned it in the show really what he did to do, like how he got the prison in shape.
No, he didn't. They
It's just-
didn't say.
It was just bad stuff. And then that's pretty much like he learned how to like manipulate emotionally and
Yeah.
all that other fun stuff from that experience.
Another thing I just remembered, because it's the same thing as we were saying earlier with whatever the Batman guy's name is. For me, he makes no sense because he's not even that strong for it to be like we need him.
That's what I'm
you know?
saying.
Like,
This is my point. Like they're picking and choosing. Like, when is enough enough? And that's what Mark's
they
point
are.
is.
Enough is the ones that can kill Viltrumites. Those are the ones that matter.
I know, but it's easy to say it you're not doing it. Like, because once you do one thing, then everything else becomes easier. So it's like, when do we say bad things are bad and we're not going to do those bad things? You know, like that's my whole like argument, and that's what Mark is arguing. I would think. So it's like,
yeah, I guess the Batman guy just seems weird to me because he just seems useless. Like he's relatively strong, but at best he's like a Guardian of the Globe member.
Yeah,
you know?
He's like gimmicky. Like he has his teleporting and everything, but I don't know what else he can do.
I mean, Mark dogged on him in season 2.
Yeah.
And that was way weaker Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like, what criminals are we going to say, all right, we need you? And what criminals are like, oh, well, you're kind of useful, so let's just keep you around anyway.
Honestly, with the way Cecil was hinting at it,
it's basically anyone.
Every criminal he's reforming.
Yeah, anyone.
Quote unquote reforming. But like...
Yeah, see, that is just...
I don't think that's a smart idea.
It's too much to manage at once.
Yeah.
But I don't see it being completely unrealistic either. Because of that whole fear of there's this fucking unstoppable army coming, we need basically like cannon fodder.
Yeah, I guess
and like whatever we can get.
But at that point, people shouldn't be mad because you're just sending them out there to die.
That's pretty much probably what he's gonna like. If I had to guess, that's what he's gonna use them for. Pretty much is to like basically like at this like you just need numbers because you can't like again you like you said earlier you can't have just Mark fighting against an entire army. But at least if there's 10,000 cannon fodder.
It really
will distract a couple of them.
No one else on Earth could do anything. Like the closest is Eve, but like she's not strong physically. Like they could one hit her. She might be able to do damage, but they could still one hit her. You know,
because she can make armor and stuff. Like she could probably do things to protect herself. Like if she were to really refine,
though.
But if she were to refine her power, I'd say she'd be able to fight Viltrumites.
Yeah, I could see her doing damage, but she's just not fast enough to like.
But if she were to learn, like if let's say if the Viltrumites have a certain material like kryptonite that they're super like weak against, and she were to learn how to materialize that would be pretty strong. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like if there's like some like metal out there in the universe that can cut a Viltrumite super easily, and she's just able to make spikes of that and throw it at them. Well, there's all
the books of Viltrumite weaknesses, Nolan's books.
Yeah, like what if there's something in there? Like she has the potential if there's a physical material that exists.
Yeah.
I just think Cecil needed to be upfront more with Mark. But
that's another thing. All the secrets and like going back to not treating him like a human and like the way they treat Mark, like.
But that's all Cecil. That's not.
Yeah, that's just Cecil's flaw. Like he just wasn't a smart.
It's not just Mark though. He does it with everybody.
Yeah, that's true. That's what my favorite part of episode 2 was when he pulled. Like, I love that he went to the Guardians because they're his homies. I love how he was
trying to like go there.
Yeah, well, obviously, but
no, I just like that.
I also love that at least the ones that I actually like were on his side. You know. Yeah.
And they were all pretty grossed out equally by what was happening. Especially that one girl, I can't remember her name. The one that turns into the goblin-looking thing.
Monster Girl?
No, yeah, Monster Girl. She was, like, horrified when she saw Mark on the floor.
My favorite part about that was, how they defended him, yes. But I love that Rex was the first one to be like, what the fuck? I'm out of here. This is fucked up.
Yeah. It's in his character, too. He would be the one to make a decision like that.
Yeah, I like that
he started
I mean, he's the leader of that team now, of the ones that left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Because they all followed him out. Like, he is the one that started that.
He's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And he got all the ones I actually like. I like that he took Monster Girl, I loved Rudy's answer to it, too, that while he does kind of like Mark, his answer is the actual reasonable answer of why you should side with Mark.
He's the most fucking powerful thing on the planet. I might need him on my side.
Yeah, it's like Cecil should have took that one.
Yeah. I don't know. He's not wrong. He's a good ally to have.
Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that they're basically
part of his reasoning too, and we can't skip over this, was because of Monster Girl going first.
Yeah, but then
that
was
one dude.
I think that was less of a reason than we think, though.
Even that one dude had like pointed it out, and he blushed over it. Like, it was part of his decision making.
Yeah, but then he literally
part
goes
of
and
it.
tells him, he's like, but I know why you really made that decision. And then he tells him, yeah, because Mark's who he is.
That's fair.
I also love, like, obviously you would do it anyways just because you're scared, but I love how he just no questions took that thing out of Mark's head.
He was like, absolutely.
But
Yeah, I mean, I would too. I wouldn't want to say no to him right now.
yeah,
Would
I
you?
wouldn't want to say no to Mark, even if I wanted it in there. I wouldn't say no.
He's like, Rudy, get this fucking thing out of my head. Like,
Especially
absolutely.
after the remote's gone. Well, I mean, to be fair, he did block the sound, so I guess he could unblock it.
I also liked how, like, during that fight, like, everyone's fighting, and it was Rex who was, like, the only one who was trying to, like, free Mark
Stop
at first.
He was thinking, like, he was trying to figure out what was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was
just love
smart.
Rex. And what bothers me about Rex, though, and I feel like they've shown me this a million times now, he feels so, like, weak. You know,
Yeah,
like,
it feels like he's selective with his strike.
Well, he kind of is.
They're selective with his strength.
yeah, he's not very powerful. And they gave us, like, a little backstory of how he got his powers, which sounds pretty badass, but
Sounds painful.
yeah, it does. But I don't know, like, he's just, I really like him as a character, but, like, pretty much his only good fight scene was that one where he, like, bodied all
Got
those
shot
guys
in
and
the
got
head.
shot in the head. That was still amazing, though.
I'm sure he'll have another moment.
And he killed someone with his, like, bone from his missing hand. Remember that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Rex went crazy.
He's awesome. But I just don't see how he could, like, be relevant against Viltrumites.
I don't know,
Maybe
unless
if
his
they, like,
explosions
put-
get real strong.
Or, like, they're, like, that sound explosions, you know?
Oh, maybe. Like, if he can make his explosions emit that frequency.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
I don't know. The sound thing, I think, is just easily exploitable for the Viltrumites, like, to find a way to, like, have it not
I
affect
feel like you
them.
just get
Put
some
on some
big ass
earplugs.
speakers.
Yeah, like, fuck.
Put on, like, get a Jumbotron and just blast it.
No, okay, then they'll just, one of them will just fly through it. Like, it's not like...
Okay, get multiple fucking just get a lot of speakers, put them all around the globe,
Yeah.
and just crank it to 11 and
He
blast
said,
it.
just take the planet and push it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or, like, I don't know. I feel like there's ways to exploit it, especially with, like, the fact that, like, the sound affects their flight. Like, they can't fly when they hear that sound because it affects their center, like, their
Their
balance.
inner ear.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure
thank you.
it'll help, but we'll have to see. Like,
Especially, or if you can, like, time your things to, like, get strikes on them. I don't know. You could probably be smart with it.
I just like the like team that's being set up with, like, what I don't think they have a name now. Because they said they're not going to be the teen team again.
Yeah. He's like, I'm a grown ass man.
I love that he went with them, actually, because he was my favorite of, like, the not newer, but, like, older people that came in later of the Guardians. He was my
Yeah.
favorite one.
He was pretty chill.
But I like that, you know, it's them and then kind of Eve and Mark. Like, that's kind of like their team now, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad Eve and Mark are finally together.
I know. That was like.
And
Thank
I
God
like
it
that
actually
they-
worked
they
out. I thought my
baited
dude
us.
fumbled the biggest bag of this decade or the century.
And they like baited us into thinking we were going to get that Amber bullshit where he, like, missed his date with her or something. And she's like, nah, I get it.
Nah,
It's like,
I know.
thank fuck. This is what all the... I was like, what
A
more
reasonable
superhero?
bitch, finally.
It's like, I was saving the world. She goes, oh, okay. She's not
Valid.
like, what is the world without me?
Yeah, I should be your priority, not the world.
That's Amber.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
man. Eve rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eve's number one for sure. Actually, I kind of liked the coffee scene between Eve and Amber to kind of clear the air and talk about everything.
Everybody actually
Yeah, I
being
mean-
mature, yeah.
They
yeah, like
actually
being
made...
mature adults discussing and being like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I'm kind of like, I was expecting it to happen. Just happened. I was glad it happened when it did, or not immediately, I think she said.
I'm also glad... Well, like, to be fair, like, season 2 Amber was way better than season 1 Amber. Like, she was a fine person.
They learned her lesson. They learned their lesson after season 1 Amber.
Yeah. But, it's just hard to beat Eve, someone who can actually help you, you know?
Yeah. And they are quite literally the power couple now.
They're the strongest two around right now, I think.
Yeah, they're the strongest on Earth, I'd say.
Like, who competes with Eve? I can't think of anyone, really.
Power-wise, nobody really.
I would say maybe the Immortal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually true.
Oh, yeah, that's just durability-wise, though. But, like, power
I would say he would be able to beat her in a fight. So that's just because of how strong he is.
Yeah, and Eve's just not durable.
Isn't combat experienced and isn't durable.
She's definitely not durable.
She has the durability of a human, does she not?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she can do, like, shields and stuff.
Yeah, but catch her off guard.
Yeah, and she's not, like, abnormally fast either, so, like, someone fast could easily get around a shield.
Her response times seem like an average person's, or slightly above average for a person's response time.
Yeah.
I do like how she's going to college showing how to use her powers better.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
That's kind of funny, but I do
Especially,
like
I'm
it.
sure after the events of Adam Eve, from what I've gathered from the show.
Well, in season 2, isn't it, where she like tries to build a orphanage or something and it collapses?
And it crumbles to dust, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or a playground, maybe.
It's something
like that.
And then her dad's
like, "You're not an engineer."
Yeah, and then she goes, "Bet," and starts going to school for it.
Yeah, her dad kind of annoyed me.
I hate her dad.
What parent would be that against your kid? Come on.
I hate her dad so much, and I feel like her mom doesn't get enough hate. Like, her mom is a pussy.
Yeah, her mom does not stand up for her daughter at all.
Which means that means the dad probably abuses her too, honestly, though. That's probably why.
That's why, yeah.
It's sad. That guy sucks.
Yeah, but not a good man.
Talk about the Eve and parents moment, Bert.
Yeah, that was pretty, like, she was pretty much like, "I won't use my powers in the house, but you have to accept I have powers, and I'll accept I won't use them in the house."
And then he's like, "I really got to think about this one, except you as my daughter." Oh.
Yeah, and she was like, "These powers are me. You have to accept me for who I am. And if you don't like these conditions, I will just never come home again." And then the mom was like, "Baby, you can't say that. You have to come home. I love you." And then she looked over at her husband and she's like, "She's your daughter. You could come on."
And he's like hard thinking, like,
yeah, he's like thinking about this way too long. And he's like, "I guess I need a beer." And he gets up and goes to the fucking fridge. Like, come on.
Another realistic human response.
Eve is a better person than me because I don't know, man. I don't know.
She was happy. She was happy about that response too. She was like, "Yes."
Yeah, she was ecstatic that her dad was like, "Finally, he accepts me as a human being versus as like a monster." And then she immediately, it's funny how she hit her mom with the immediate, "Can I say it? Can I move back in?"
Yeah, that was funny. I feel like this show is always like low-key funny. Like, I've always thought there's funny shit that happens.
But imagine having your dad needing to get drunk after like accepting that you're just you. Like, your dad needs to be drunk to tolerate your existence.
That's a lot of dads, though. There's a lot of dads like that. That's a real thing.
That's how Bert's gonna be, right?
I got pretty lucky with my dad.
Is that what you're gonna go for, Bert, when you become a dad?
Yeah, I'm becoming an alcoholic that has to get drunk to tolerate my kid's existence.
It's like, I was drunk. That's how you were made. That's how you'll be raised.
Well, he didn't even make Eve.
Yeah, you're not an engineer.
Eve's adopted.
Yeah, that's true. Watch the Adam Eve
special. Actually?
Bert. Watch the Adam Eve special.
That explains why he hates her so much. That actually makes so much sense. Like, imagine
Adam
like
Eve
going
special rocks.
Imagine like wanting to like just have a normal abusive family where you can hit your kid and they find out they can fight back. Like, that would be pretty disappointing.
It's like, damn it, now I gotta beat the wife more.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, I don't have a punching bag anymore. I don't know.
Let's move to the final episode. That does make
so much sense, though.
Wrap this up. So
I should really watch that special, huh?
It's good. Yeah, I think it's one of the best episodes.
It is very good.
I remember seeing it and thinking I should watch this, but it's one of those things that like I just never did. Like, time moved,
definitely,
and I just never went to do.
It comes out. The next episode comes out tomorrow, right? It's Wednesday or Thursday, I think.
Thursday.
Okay, I'm excited for that.
It's kind of toxic though, because I was reading the Amazon page, and if you read it, it says it comes out the 12th, but if you actually read it, it says it comes out the 13th at 3 a.m.
No, what's toxic is that they're all there and show pictures, and I scrolled through them and I saw some stuff that I was like, oh, I wish I didn't see that fucking thumbnail.
Yeah. I saw Cecil, and I'm like, fuck.
I didn't see anything, so I'm not going to do that.
Don't scroll.
now.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, don't do that.
You just upset yourself.
Someone remind me more of the third episode, because the main thing that I remember was just the teen team helping him out.
Teen team, and then Oliver gets
oh
trained.
my god, I hate Oliver.
How'd you? Yeah, he kind of concerns me. This kid's
Kind of
a psychopath.
Like, yeah, a little bit.
He's a bit of a psychopath. I'm not gonna lie.
And that's
You wanna know my
exactly
prediction?
why they feel the way they do about Mark.
okay, but again,
Because a kid like that
Mark
could
has
exist.
never okay, but then Mark has never ever shown signs like Oliver has.
I mean, he killed somebody.
but Mark fucking cried over it and like felt terrible and had so much obvious remorse.
Yeah, we
Oliver had
see that, but
none.
no, the other people don't.
But like when Mark talks to his family about it,
Yeah, his
and like
family.
talk to Cecil.
But no, he.
Well, yeah, but Cecil has his whole
But and
house
Cecil has
bugged.
fucking he has his entire house bugged. He knows everything Mark is up to.
That is true.
Like he like should understand that maybe this guy is kind of like doesn't have human emotions and ties to Earth. Maybe he doesn't want to enslave the entire planet.
No, so you want to know my prediction here? I think that Oliver is going
Oliver
to get
is
worse and worse. Let me finish. Is going to
Okay.
get worse and worse, and the thing that's gonna like bring him back is when Omni-Man comes back and he's like, Omni-Man, the hero, and then he'll be like, you shouldn't be like this, and everyone will be
Yeah.
like, what? Omni-Man changed, and then he like brings Oliver back to normal.
I'm thinking so. I feel like Oliver needs to meet Omni-Man with like his different
Yeah, now that
His new
Omni-Man's not a
perspectives.
killer. Well, not
with
a
his new perspective.
psychopath.
I mean, maybe.
And
We
be
don't
like-
really know for sure.
Because Oliver is basing a lot of his opinions and feelings on Omni-Man, I feel like. He's like, that's
Yeah.
his dad. Like, and what boy doesn't look up to his dad to some extent? You know what I mean?
I just
don't
love the
know.
idea of. Oh, you know what else I loved actually? Just to bring it
But
back.
why-
When Mark was getting his ass kicked in the Guardians of the Globe place and fighting those robot things, they had him do the exact same kill shots that Omni-Man did against the original Guardians of the Globe.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Oh
too.
yeah, with like the slicing.
Yeah, he did that. That was the same ways that Omni-Man killed the original Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
That was
pretty
so cool.
One thing I did like too was when remember like when we got a flashback to Cecil and Omni-Man fighting.
Meeting.
I think they were meeting or no, like or something happened, and I remember like seeing that Omni-Man like when Cecil and Omni-Man met, he went like straight for the throat, and then when Mark decided he was done with Cecil, he also went straight for the throat. And like I can imagine like being, I guess I can see kind of why Cecil has this fear
I'm
of
gonna
Mark.
say like there's so much, and you get just like
But,
yeah,
like,
but it's
it's
Mark.
obvious-
No, I
No,
do
no.
understand
Look,
why
look,
he has
let
the
me
fear,
say
but
it.
at the same time, he doesn't handle it very. Like he does it in such a poor way.
Let me say, I agree with you. He should be scared of Mark, but it's like he's causing a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, it's exactly how I feel.
It's
It's like
like
you're
you could be
afraid of
scared
all
of
these
Mark,
things.
so make these weapons on the side that Mark will be okay with.
Yeah, tell him
Instead-
about them. Like, hey, we're going to develop these things against Viltrumites. Are you okay with that? He'll probably be absolutely okay with it.
Yeah. And it's like in
You're
your
like, hell
mind,
yeah,
you can
I'll
be
help
like,
you.
these will be good against Mark if something goes wrong. Putting a thing in his head, while yes, that could deal with him, it's like now you're creating the threat of Mark instead of when
Yeah,
you
because then
could
if he
be
ever finds
working
out-
to prevent it without creating it, you know?
Like, if he
Yeah.
ever finds out about it and you don't kill him, now you have a bigger problem on your hands.
He should have just pulled a Batman and just not told anybody anything and had a kill
He should
kill
have. He
switch
should've-
for everybody.
He should have just waited until Mark was going through buildings to use that kill switch.
That's what Batman does.
Yeah, but he. It just what that would have been. That guy would have been okay with that. I would have been mad that he had that thing in his head the whole time, but I've been like, you know what?
At
This
least
is why
you're
they had the
being
thing in the head.
logical.
Yeah, it's like I can see why he did that now, and I can see why he waited to do it when he did.
Let's get back to Oliver though. So Oliver keeps
Yeah.
trying to follow Mark around to different
He
things.
wants, because he
Mark
has his
gets a-
powers and he's excited. He wants
Yeah,
to use
Mark
them.
also gets a new suit. He goes by Invincible now.
Okay, yeah, one thing I kind of wanted to mention: if you were that suit maker, and you were making an O, would you make the O the same as Omni-Man's O?
No.
Or would you try to make it look
not.
different?
You should definitely try and make it look different.
Yeah, okay. So I kind of blame Oliver's suit on the suit maker.
Also,
with
like,
that
why
logic.
would he said, "Oh, he wanted an O for Oliver"? Why would his real name be on his suit?
Yeah, that's also valid.
But it's probably just, it's
He's a kid. Whatever.
they gave him the book. They drew him in the comics. It had to be that way,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I liked Mark's old suit more.
I like the eyes more. I don't like how they're black. It looks just weird.
Yeah, I don't like the black eyes either.
I think it'll look fine with white eyes.
I think so.
Maybe.
I hope they keep calling him Invincible. I think that's so
That is
funny.
pretty funny.
They're like, it's Invincible. And like when he pulled up on the Maulers and they're like, who's he? He's the new guy, Invincible.
Invincible.
I think.
Should we go into that fight?
Yeah, that's the one where fucking Oliver went crazy.
Yeah, so Invincible goes off to stop the Mauler brothers
Yeah.
from, what were they trying to do?
Shoot an EMP.
Yeah, fire an EMP.
Oh, yeah, they were trying to fire a nuke. It was a nuke, I thought.
No, it was an EMP.
Oh. They were trying to fire an EMP.
They wanted to like disable digital banking and become like the only currency in the world or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So the Guardians of the Globe get sent to dispatch them. And when they get there, the Mullen twins are like, is that it? Like, where's everyone else at? And they're like, that's it. And they're like, we've been downgraded. Like, what is this? They took offense to it, which I thought was pretty funny.
They had a gun that was
I
just
like the
fucking
Mauler
everybody
twins.
up. It was like a
Yeah, so they had this gun,
nervous
and they
system.
were like, turns out everyone's weakness is their nervous system.
He's like,
Which
who
is
would have
actually a
known?
very good point. Like, you never think about that, but that would be a good place to attack someone. Like some superheroes.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, like that's kind of genius.
Yeah.
Well, the hard part is attacking it directly. It's not that people thought. It's not that everyone thought it wasn't a weakness. It's just not an easy thing to build, that gun.
Yeah, no. But, like, I feel like Cecil could have invented if he knew, like, if he wanted to.
Yeah,
But,
maybe.
They're fighting, and then Mark's at home watching the news with his mom, and Mark and his mom are, like, having a bit of a conversation, and she's pretty much like, you're a superhero still, right? And he's like, yeah. So then he has to go off and help, because that's just who he is. So then the Mark flies off to go help, and then the news reports that Invincible has flown into the scene, and Oliver happens to be downstairs when he hears that. So he like basically just runs off, and his mom is like being like, "Don't go." He's like, "I'm going," and he like dips.
Yeah, he just takes off.
I hate Oliver.
He like has Oliver, just for some bit of context, has shown a couple different times that he's a bit of a rebellious kid. Like his parents or his mom, I should say, will tell him not to like do certain things, and he'll
mother.
like, yeah, and he'll go off. Well, he calls her mom, and he raised her from a fetus,
Debbie?
pretty much.
A larva.
For like, what? A couple
A day.
days. Well, I guess it's been like 4 months or something now.
Yeah, and he like cares about her and stuff, but he like has done like he like hid when he got his powers to surprise Mark, and he didn't understand really why. Like he doesn't understand why what he's doing is necessarily wrong.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand why.
He's asking
like,
Mark why
there's-
he's not just killing people.
He's 12.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, well, it's like, but he's 12, but he's also a different species.
Yes, he's actually like 4 months old.
Yeah.
So I don't like he doesn't understand entirely what Omni-Man did. And then when he did get it explained what he did, he doesn't really understand the value of life. And that's concerning for like
He
any
also
person
doesn't.
with
He also said one time that like him and Mark are better than other people because of their powers, which is like what Omni-Man used to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what else? I don't know. He's silly. He's
He
like going back to the
absolutely
Mauler brothers.
He's just-
He's the
yeah.
baller boys.
He,
is
like-
what else.
He just has some
He, like,
major
is
red
fighting them.
flags.
He punches one of them, and like he doesn't like nothing
Punches
really
his
bad.
He does the
jaw. What do you
Spider-Man.
mean?
Not yet.
He does the Spider-Man.
It doesn't happen yet. He like at first is like relatively tame, but then he sees Mark getting hurt, and like loses his mind.
No, well, Mark
flies
leaves
off
to stop the bomb. Stop
Oh
the
yeah,
EMP.
you're right.
And he
then they
says,
hurt
go
him.
home. And then he doesn't go home.
Yeah, and then he's like, this is what happens when you're a bad guy.
Punches the
And like
guy's jaw.
he punches the guy jaw off.
Yeah.
And he looks at his brother and like is trying to speak but just simply can't. And he's like, you're gonna need surgery for that. And then he fucking punches his head off.
No, he charges through him.
Oh, you're right. And then
He charges through
got
him
the
and then
order.
he punches the jaw guy's head off.
Yeah.
you're right. That's what it was.
Yeah,
And then
he pulled a Spider-Man.
Then right as that's happening, Immortal happens to witness it. And
Who
like
already
basically
hates Mark.
yeah, he witnesses it and then Cecil comes in and it's just very awkward timing. And so then Mark returns. Well, no, actually no, I lied. At first, don't they say like didn't he say it was an accident?
Something like that.
He was like, I didn't mean to do that, even though he absolutely did, which is actually kind of terrifying. He's like, I didn't mean to do this. And then Cecil was like, it's okay, kid, accidents happen.
He's just ruining it for Mark because now they're like, so Mark meant to do it.
So yeah, exactly. So then right at this moment, Mark flies in, sees Cecil, and then on sight picks him up by the neck and holds him in the air.
That was actually epic.
Because in the last encounter, the way it ended was that after like all the fighting was done with like the robots and the sound thing, Cecil was like, you arrogant little fool, like this is all your fault. And then Mark was just not listening to it anymore and like pinned him against the wall and is like, don't you ever come near me or my family again or I will kill you. So and then in this next episode, after he sees him talking to Oliver, he's like, you know,
He just
about to
pins
fulfill
him.
that promise, pins him up in the air and is about to kill him. And then he's like, I'm just cleaning up your brother's mess. So then
Yeah,
Mark
then
takes
Mark
a look
turns
at
around,
the scene.
sees it, grabs Oliver, he goes,
Sky now. And they
They're
have like this
gone.
big talk. I kind of forget what they talk about specifically.
That's where Oliver starts saying that they're
His
more
yeah.
important than other people, and he's like, "You sound just like Dad." He goes,
Like, oh my
Dad,
God, yeah.
maybe Dad
Actually,
was
the
right."
look on Mark's face when he like makes that connection is like kind of like ouch. It's like he looks scared or mortified.
Well, because like, think about it. You're Mark. You probably be thinking right now. You're like, "Am I gonna have to fucking kill this kid?"
Yeah, am I gonna have to kill my little brother?
That would be so devastating.
It's like, oh my God. Especially because like it's kind of scary to think about how he got that way, but it's like no one was talking in his ear to make him feel that way. You know, it's not like their
How he
Omni-Man
is.
was at home. Because I feel like if Mark got his powers young, like Oliver did, and Omni-Man was like talking or training Mark, Cecil would have a very valid reason to be afraid of Mark.
Yeah, because Mark was only had his powers for like a year or two.
Yeah, after he was an adult and whatever.
He got him when he was
Like, he was-
Close
17.
to it. So pretty
Yeah.
close to an adult.
Pretty much. At least for this context. But then like he wasn't indoctrinated as a child because Omni-Man probably saw Mark as just another human. Like how he viewed Debbie as a pet, he probably just viewed Mark as like a pet.
Debbie as a pet.
He misses her as a pet.
Yeah,
like,
that was
I mean,
cool.
I miss
He goes-
Apollo after a while.
No. But he was like
He's
sitting
like,
in jail
I
with
miss
Alan.
my wife.
Yeah. Also,
No, but,
Alan
like-
looks pretty strong too.
But Omni-Man has also gone through a lot of growth, and he like through his other wife has learned like the value of life, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because before he met her, he didn't have that like perspective on like how like life should be valued and protected and whatever.
Yeah.
But like after he like had all of
Really?
her and met his mom,
Really, Debbie's the real MVP. Without her, like,
That's what
She-
I'm
she's-
saying.
Mark would just destroy the
she's
world.
the real raising two superhero sons that are like god tier level powers, and like not having them destroy the earth. Good job.
She's also the reason that Nolan has any feelings at all.
Yeah.
So
And,
she,
like,
she
Nolan will
converted
probably-
him too, really. It just
Yeah,
isn't as
she-
obvious.
Debbie converted 3 Viltrumites to Earthside.
Well, one of
Wow.
them's failing so far. We'll see how that one goes, but at least 2.
At least 2, hopefully 3. I feel like if Omni-Man like were to talk to Oliver,
I
Oliver
do think that would
listen.
work. Yeah, I think so.
I think especially because of the way Oliver seems to view him as like this thing to emulate. I feel like if the thing that he's trying to emulate is like no, he would probably be like, maybe not.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That pretty much wraps it up, though, I think.
Yeah,
Unless there's
that's-
any other moments you want to mention.
That's the main
I don't
stuff.
think so.
I just love.
Oh, actually,
the
I want to
freaking
talk
Guardians.
about the. We should bring up the sideboard guy just because we mentioned it in the beginning. That moment between him and Mark.
I can't remember his name. I can't even remember the friend's name. What is?
I don't either.
Well, yeah.
Pretty
Someone
much the-
talk about that moment he had with
Mark's
Mark when Mark was talking to
friends-
him, and he's telling him that they didn't put Sinclair away.
Yeah, and Mark feels that part responsible. He's like, I should have just killed him and like not let him live. And Mark's friend's boyfriend, the one that was actually turned into one of those robot things, goes up to Mark and is like, hey man, like this isn't your fault. You did nothing wrong. Like I don't blame you pretty much for what's happening.
Yeah.
Angstrom. And Mark is like, I don't think like, and Mark mentioned earlier, he's like, I don't know if I should tell you this or not. And he's like also mentioned like, I'm like, appreciate you telling me the truth. It's better to know versus not knowing.
Yeah, and then Mark says something like, maybe I should have killed him. And then the guy's like, we don't need more people like Sinclair. We need more people like you.
I love Mark.
And then like you're telling me that Cecil doesn't have Mark's entire life bugged. Hearing that and like how the Mark is responding to this all.
He
I
should
don't
probably
think he
have it all
does.
bugged. So then Mark, after that, well, that was like the before he was attacked by Cecil that they had that conversation, I think. But then we end episode 3 with another good moment. They have like a family talk in the bedroom. Well, first he has a talk with Eve, doesn't he, on the roof, right?
Yeah, she's like, it was like, Invincible or Mark is like distraught. He's like, he has no idea what to do with his brother. Feels overwhelmed. He's like, he's in a tough spot.
And then she
Eve's
hits
like,
him with the anti-Amber of, he's like, I don't know how I can handle being a brother and a son and a boyfriend. He's like, it's just so much. And she's like, no, you're thinking about it wrong. You don't have to do it. Like, we're here to help you.
Yeah, you don't have like we're not relying on you. You can rely on us.
She's just so much better than Amber. Like,
She really is.
they really were just like, how should we make Eve? And then they're like, do the opposite of Amber.
pretty much.
So then there's like a family moment on the bed where they're like, Oliver, life is important. And he goes, I don't get it. And he,
she's like, what if like would you care about my mom? Like would you care about your mom?
yeah,
and he's
would
like,
you
yeah,
care
I
if
guess.
died? And he goes, of course
And-
I'd care if you died.
And then they're like,
Mom."
now think about if everyone else's mom and their friends and all that.
And then he's like,
Wouldn't
but the
they
Mahler
decrease
twins
that
don't
if
have
they
anybody,
died?
so they should die anyway.
Yeah. Like, I don't like how that's left. And the fact that they're all hugging and smiling is like, maybe not. I don't know.
And then
I
there's
feel
a
like,
floating eye outside.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Mark is like on site with that thing. And
I
like
love
just
serious
instantly,
Mark.
and it destroys. Yeah, me too. I really feel like Mark needs to have like an actual like sit down important talk with Oliver. Be like a talk that just hasn't happened yet. I feel like I don't know.
I don't even think he'd know what to say right now because he doesn't know for himself if he even trusts himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like
He can't do it. He can't. He's not confident enough in his own mental state to also lead Oliver.
that is true. That is like the whole thing he was telling. What was it? I forgot her name. What's her actual name?
Eve.
Eve. Thank you.
I wonder what Adam Eve's name is. Must be Adam.
Yeah, like that was like the whole conversation he had between her, like Eve. I guess was like the whole I can't do it all.
Yeah.
So what do we find out at the end though when he grabs floating eye guy?
That someone is watching him.
Yeah, who?
I think it's one of the.
It's well, maybe you didn't read the subtitles. I guess
Was it Angstrom?
it was Angstrom.
That's what I thought. I didn't have subtitles, but it sounded like him.
I didn't have subtitles either.
Yeah, I had it and it said Angstrom, and I was like, damn, must be a different universe one or something.
Didn't they all merge though?
I mean, technically there's infinite, so like...
Yeah, we don't know if he grabbed all of them. Didn't his thing only have like a max capacity of chairs?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It wasn't.
I have to rewatch that
it wasn't
scene.
all of them. It couldn't be. It's an infinite
But wasn't
number.
he the only one that had the ability to go between the multiverses?
Well, that we know of.
It's an infinite multiverse. There could have definitely been another one.
I don't know.
We'll see. The thing I want to happen...
Because then that doesn't make him unique as a character.
What do you mean?
Like I feel like the whole point of him from season 2 was the fact that he was the only one that could do what he did.
He was in like 20 minutes of episode.
No, I know, but he like talked, and that's another thing. Like I feel like from how much screen time they gave him, he has to be coming back.
Well, we'll see. We literally don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, oh man, I can't remember what I was gonna say now. Guess it doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much everything. Engstrom's back, so he's probably up to something, and then have to see how Mark deals with that, and whenever Omni-Man comes back.
I remembered
and
now.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's what it was. I really hope Omni-Man comes back not in the last
Soonish.
episode, you know?
Yeah. Like this one or next one would be awesome.
I'm thinking maybe like episode 5, so then we got 6, 7, and 8 with him there.
That would be awesome, yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
Give it like the last half of the season. I just don't want him to show up at the end for a single episode.
He's like, he just walks in, hey, cuts to credits.
The Invincible screen pops up.
Yeah, it's like, hey.
Dad, I thought
Like-
you died. Well, I'm... the
Dun
title
dun.
thing
Well, he
pops
doesn't
up.
know if he's dead or not. He just knows he got taken prisoner.
Yeah, but they said they were executing him. He assumed, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, well, he knows that they don't take prisoners very often. I don't
But
know.
Yeah.
that's it.
All right.
Good stuff. How would you guys so far rate this season among the last 2 seasons' first 3 episodes? I would say,
It's the best.
yeah, I think it is the best first 3 episodes of a season.
Yeah, I think
If it continues this pace, I'd say it's the best season, but we have to keep watching.
Well, I think season 2 was on average stronger than season 1, but season 1's ending was the best episode of the whole show, you know? Like,
Season 1 was pretty boring in like the middle, but it was good at the beginning and the end.
yeah,
Season 2, what kind of had a slow start, but picked up and got good.
yeah, in the middle it was
Season
good, too.
3 is just coming out swinging.
Yeah.
I
So
hope we
we'll
get
see if
another
we can keep
episode
steam.
on the level of the last 2 of season 1, because season 1's finale was literally like mind-blowingly good.
No, it was.
Yeah. But we'll see. A couple days, we'll get episode 4, and then we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Yep. Keep it salty.